Chris Duffin here with Kabuki Strength. I'm going to show you training on how to use the most versatile grip strength tool that there is. And it's the Q-bell. Not necessarily meant to be a sales pitch here, but there really is nothing else that can cover all aspects of strength, from pronation and supination, flexion, extension, lateral flexion and extension, large closing grip, small closing grip, different varieties of that, training strength of the fingers as it relates to it. There is nothing else. And what's cool is you don't need a giant rack of dumbbells or be changing the plates and all that. You can do it with one or two Q-bells. So a lot of people get grip strength wrong. They're always just focused on this closing grip. And oftentimes it's an implement that's a specialist thing. So you get really good at that, but you can't apply it to, hanging on a ladder or climbing or doing a lot of things like in a tactical environment where I've got to grab a sandbag or a person and be able to hang and hold. It's not like massive grip of trying to hang on to 1,000 pounds, but its ability to maintain grip for a longer sustained period of time and with different aspects and movement within it. And that's where the Q-bell really comes in. So we've clearly got the different sizes. And so if I'm holding this large one, it's going to be harder, and I'm just going to get grip strength as a whole while I'm doing it. If I'm doing a bottoms up, I go with a small grip. The smaller grip I go, the more difficult it is to control and hold that. And it works in opposite here. But this is where it gets really cool when we start talking about the static grip. So let's say, again, like maybe a tactical environment where you've got specific implement that you've got to deal with. You've got your, a fire hose or a ladder, and it's like, what size handle do I have to deal with? I can maximize that and my time. And I can do it like with a static portion. So here I'm doing a curl, but I've got to maintain this static grip with whatever size that I've got. And now, oh, look at this. I can pronate, supinate with it. If I offset it like this, here we go, right? Actually, I can barely do that with the 10, so I'm gonna make it easier. So again, this is a single weight allows me to do this, all right? And the other way, right? Boom. So many ways that I could do that. So that's beyond just the simple, let's hold it in these different positions while you're doing an exercise. Phenomenal way to get your grip strength in while you're training, or just target that. Now, I was just showing some pronation and supination, which is really great to be able to do. We can also do our flexion and extension here, right? So I can load this up. I don't need a special device with a rope and a weight that I've got it, like, here it is right there, right? I can lay on a bench, go the other way, boom. I mean, if I want to go a little bit off angle, I can hit all those little nooks and crannies of this, right? You see I'm going a little bit this way, a little bit that way. Really great way to hit those movements. And again, each one of those, I've got a choice of the size of handle, which in this movement is actually, besides matching that to whatever implement that you're trying to train with, is another way of changing the load. So right here, I've got a certain load with how far away it is doing my flexion. And I can get it easier however I do that. But this is also easier and harder based on the grip size. So here, the smaller one, I can't even do flexion with a 10-pound weight in this far position with the small grip right now. So that's really great. But we also have lateral flexion and extension that people never train, right? So here we go. We've got movement here, and I can vary that load. Right now I'm making it harder. This way I'm making it easy. I could lay on a bench or go behind me. Same thing. Boom. I'm hitting the other direction. I mean, right now we're already way past what you can do with any single other implement out there in regards to grip training. And then we've got the often overlooked fingers. You can't do this with a barbell or dumbbell, but very simply, there we go. Because the weight is lower, I can sit there and do this. If I increase my contact area here, it's going to get a little closer and easier. And I can do the same thing if I go off of a bench with, again, through the fingers. I could train those individually if I wanted to. And my favorite actually with doing that is not through the round part, but right here. And you'll see me a lot of times when I'm doing tricep extensions, stuff like that, I'm actually holding it out here on the wrist, and then I can vary the load as well by how much I walk that through my wrist. Where's it loading at? So right here, I've got it on the fingers, super easy. As I walk it out, it becomes harder and harder because I've got this three-dimensional cage to work within here. Man, we've just hit so many aspects of the grip, finger training. And again, we've got the really basic kind of like crush and hold. If I just add more load, I can work on those. The goal isn't to tell you that this is the best. It's to show you all the different ways that you could use this to maximize not just your grip strength, you know, being able to use it as a tool to match whatever environment that you work within. Really phenomenal of understanding all those different movement patterns. It is very much not just that or closing a gripper that makes great grip strength. So we've got, you know, flexion, extension that we're training, crushing, static, both crushing and static with the different sized implements. We've got supination, pronation. We've got lateral, flexion and extension. And we've got our finger strength, both in flexion and extension as well. And then all the variety of all those mixed together. All right, take that to use. Nothing like this in existence. Cost you $1 bell. Go have fun. Most of this you can actually do while you're training already.